The locations, the design, the materials used, all the way down to the latest details, are few of many things that we focused on when we envisioned the airport residency. As proud innovators of community estates, the airport residency in Old Yundum, a project by Swami India International, offers unique gated community with 3 and 4-bedroom villas and duplexes. Just 5 minutes away from the Banjul International Airport. Luxury, convenience, and accessibility are some of the reasons you should consider this great housing opportunity. With a clubhouse, a playground, access roads, and parking facilities available for your dream home or a valuable investment, you will find all you need at Airport Residency here in Old Yundum.
2021 race to the State House is revving up. Over 15 political parties all vying for the presidency. The Fatu Network presents Know Your Candidates 2021. A weekly show where we profile political candidates, delve into their manifestos, and more.
Know Your Candidates 2021 with Sergio Brito. Thursdays on the Fatu Network at 9 p.m.
Mama Kandeh, born July 12, 1965, is a Gambian politician and founder of the Gambia Democratic Congress, an opposition political party. Mama Kandeh was born in Sare Birom in Upper River region of the Gambia. Kandeh attended St. George's Primary School in Basse, Mansajang. Fun fact, Mama Kandeh was the first child in his community to enroll for primary education. He later attended Crab Island Secondary Technical School in the capital city, Banjul, and the Gambia Technical Training Institute, after which he left the Gambia for Germany.
I know Mama Kandeh when we were all children by then. We used to move together at times and then play together in the same football field. Kandeh, really, if you know him from childhood and you see him today, it is amazing. Because Kandeh was somebody who was very obedient to the parents. Where you know that is? Kandeh used to move from Nema Nasir to go to the bush, where you have the forest in Sukuta, to go and fetch firewood and carry it back home, at times on his head, to give it to the parents to cook food for the family. He does that during his childhood. When he has free times, then he will come to the football field where we all gather and then play together. Mama was a very obedient but a very different person. Anytime you heard Mama Kandeh fighting, it is not him, it's because of somebody. He does not tolerate disrespect to anybody. He's a very respectable person, and he would like you to respect anybody that you join with. Anytime you see him having any difference with anybody, if you ask, it is because of somebody, not him. He always fought the cause of others, not for himself. That was Kandeh.
After some years living abroad, Kandeh would return to the Gambia to start his political career. While he started his political career in the Gambia, Kandeh pursued additional studies at the Rome Business School in Italy, where he graduated summa cum laude in political marketing and communications, of course with a master's degree. In 2002, Mama Kandeh contested for the National Assembly seat for Jimara constituency and won a position he held for almost a decade. In 2007, he was nominated unopposed by his party for the seat. He contested with and defeated the current president, Adama Barrow, who stood under the United Democratic Party, UDP, for the seat. During his time in Parliament, Kandeh served in numerous select committees, amassing a mountain of practical leadership experience on both local and international issues. He was a member of the Pan-African Parliament, otherwise known as PAP, where he served in the Committee on Trade, Customs and Immigration Matters. Kandeh was the Vice President of the West African Caucus of PAP and head of delegation of 27 members of PAP to Libya. He served as election observer in the 2008 Zimbabwe and Ghana presidential elections under the auspices of the African Union. At the national level, Mama Kandeh served as chairman of the Information, Communications and Technology, vice chairman of Foreign Affairs Committee, vice chairman of Trade and Employment Committee, as well as member of Ombudsman Committee. He also served as a member of Women and Children's Rights Committee. Kandeh is the founding leader of the Gambia Democratic Congress, a political party which he formed in the summer of 2016. He ran as a candidate in the Gambia presidential elections of 2016 and received 17.1% of the votes. Mama Kandeh has, in the course of his political career, defined himself as a detribalized Gambian, a true nationalist and patriot. He immersed himself in political work and meritoriously handling an array of political offices over the years. Thank you for sitting down with us on Know Your Candidates 2021, Honorable Mama Kandeh, the GDC party leader and political candidate. Thank you very much for sitting with us.
Thank you very much for being here.
First, I want to start with your childhood, growing up in Jimara. What was life like for Honorable Kandeh back then?
Well, thank you very much. I was born in Jimara, but not grown up in Jimara. In fact, I was the first child from my village taken to the school. I left my village, Sarabirom, and I was taken to Mankamamkunda for schooling. After 1 year, I was moved to St. George's Primary School in Basse, Mansajankunda. So most of my childhood period, I spent it in Mansajankunda, except where there was time for holidays. Sometimes I come to Sarabirom, and sometimes I will come to Banjul, Tobacco Road, when my father moved to Tobacco Road in 1978. So my childhood period, I spent most of the time in Basse Mansajankunda, if not in Tobacco Road and Nemakunku.
And then you would somehow finally move to the city and attend Crab Island School and then the Gambia Technical Training Institute. Under what circumstances did you acquire your education, and how has it shaped you as an individual?
Well, not only that I attended Crab Island Secondary Technical School, but I also went through Mohammedan Primary School when we moved to Banjul. And it have given me a lot of opportunities in life. As everybody knows, the importance of education, and I believe those important issues that are gained in the educational sector is the same thing that I have also gained and have helped me achieve some of my dreams. That is to contribute my quota towards national development. Since I left school, I was at the Sunwing Hotel. From there, I ventured into business, and after 2-3 months, I went to Europe. And it have helped me a lot in terms of communication. Hadn't been that I didn't go to the school, I mean, I would have made it there too, because there are people that went to Europe without having any educational background. But it have helped me ease my communication part of it. And I believe I would always want to see young Gambians having a very good quality education, because it helps a lot. And without quality education, without good education in any nation, you cannot achieve your dream country. And it has really done a lot for me. Right. And I thank my parents for taking a bold decision, being the first child from my village to be taken to the school. I know it was not easy for them, but they have sacrificed a lot, and I appreciate this. I thank them for what they have done for me.
Thank you, Honorable Kandeh. And to my third question, if there is one thing that you have in common with the current Gambian leader, is that you both came from the same constituency. As a matter of fact, your villages are not very far. I believe you might have crossed paths at some point, and I just want to ask out of curiosity, was there any sort of friendship or relationship at some point between you and President Barrow?
Well, as children, I mean, at that time, this is something we cannot call a friendship, because at the age of 7, 8, almost, you have very little kind of, and you can imagine at that period, kids from the provinces, you know, most of the time, I mean, we have very little to kind of interact. I was taken from my village to his village, the compound that I was living, and his compound are just next to each other. And we are age mates. And we play together sometimes, but not all the time. I do have people that were very close to me who passed away from that village, but there is somebody left who is also our age mate and very close to me at the time, but not the president, not the current president. I mean, I left him there. We went to St. George's. I think that he was not even permanently coming to that school. You know, it was a one room. You know, we have then benches, bench 1, bench 2, bench 3. It's like we have one teacher, no books. We were using slates and chalks. You know, I mean, I left him there, and then I went to St. George's. So after all, or after that, we communicate very little, because we see each other not often until we all completed our schools, but we know each other, as you said. I mean, we are all coming from the same district. In fact, not only from the same district, but from the same ward, you know, and that's it until we started contesting each other in elections in Jimara. There is nothing, no issue between me and him, to be honest. I mean, we just good friends, and that's it.
Which is very important. But before we get into the politics proper, I just wanted to take us back to the time when you lived in Germany. How do you remember that period?
Well, it was a good time for me. I have a very, very good life in Germany, and during my stay in Germany, I always say that Germany is my second country if I have to choose any second country in this world. Because the period that I lived there, I had a very good life, a very peaceful life, without any issues, no problem. And Yeah, the kind of doors were very, very open for me, and then I have invited many people to Germany during my stay there. And during my stay there, I also had a lot of opportunities of, helping the Gambia here, especially in the health sector. I do have contacts with some doctors, and especially with companies like Bayer Leverkusen, which is one of the biggest medicine producing company in Germany. And they do give me a lot of medicines, a lot of hospital equipment from the University of Cologne. It's a hospital. I do get a lot of stuff from those people, and load containers, pay them, in fact, pay the customs here in the Gambia and give it away to hospitals in this country. And I believe at that time there is no hospital in this country that I have never taken kind of support to that health facility at that time. So I had a lot of opportunities there at the time that I was there, and it have helped also a lot. And I remembered I once approached the Ministry of Health in Germany, and they were even able to send a big delegation to come and visit the RVTH when Dr. Maria Tujallo was the Director of Health. I think if you will ask us, you will remember that fully. And we have still photos of where I have sent some materials like centrifugal to the labs, and so many things from here to Basse. So I think I have gained a lot from Germany.
Things have changed since then. And for someone who's lived in that country, what do you make of the current migrant crisis?
Well, it is very serious. Things have changed. The world is not what it used to be. And I think it is time now we Africans learn from this, from independence to now. In fact, things are getting worse every day. By now, there would have been projects and programs for the younger generation where you can keep your people at home. And if we look at it seriously, this is Africa's time. But that is only if we want to make best use of what we have in our countries. If we work very hard, I believe we don't need anybody to travel, especially using the back way, risking their lives just to go and look for greener pastures. But the event that there is no opportunity for them back home, I mean, they will do everything to make sure that they have something to support themselves and their families. So I hope, I'm not talking only about the Gambia here, but Africa in general. And this is time for Africa, and let us make best use of the time. What the West can do in West, they have no space, no time for it anymore, because they have nothing to invest almost in Europe again. So the only focus area or region is Africa. So let us make best use of what we have. This is going to be a partnership kind of. Whoever wants to come and contribute their quota, or in terms of development or in terms of business, should be a win-win situation. I hope that Africans themselves would come out one day and said, look, enough is enough. Let us hold the bull by the horn and move forward with our own resources.
And now moving on to the real deal, which is politics. How did you enter into politics as a National Assembly member first?
Well, thank you very much. I get into politics long before I become a member of the National Assembly. My father was a politician himself, though he never contested elections, but he was very close to a lot of politicians. That's why I got the name Mama. Mama is MC Cham. You know, that is in URR or in Jimara we call him Mama Cham, the former Minister of Finance in Jaware's regime. So he was one of the close friends to my daddy, and that's why I was named after him. But to tell you, in 1992, we get into politics with the late Honorable Boubacar Baldé, who contested elections in Jimara as a member of parliament, and we were those rallying behind him, and we learned a lot from him politically. I can say if I have anybody I can call a teacher or who have taught me how to do politics, is him. And this was in '92. And in 1996, when I came back from Germany, Honorable Ahmad Bah wanted to form the NRP, and he came to my dad and adopted him as his father. And then I was just coming from Germany, and he said to me, Ahmad said to me, okay, this is a chance, let's do it. And we registered that party together in 1996. And if you remember, when Ahmad said that we are going to drink our coffee or tea at the State House, I was one of those that went there. That was myself, Ahmad, Yero Jao, and one Mr. Dumbuya. But since I left that place, I came back and said to Ahmad, I'm quitting because of reasons best known to me, and I don't want to talk about that here. So I quit the party until 2001. My brother, Buba Balde, was made the campaign chairman of the APRC in URR. So he called me to say that I should come home and help him. In fact, he wanted to make sure that I am in Jimara, that concentrate only in Jimara for him, because URR was like a very difficult area, especially in 2001. And then I refused, so he went to Edward Singate and Sajo Jallo, including him. 3 of them called me together. So he insisted that I should come. So this is how I came and support Jammeh in 2001. And he lost in the whole of URR except Jimara. So when I went back to Germany immediately after the elections, I was called back by the people of Jimara to come and contest the elections in 2002 as a member of parliament. This is how I get into politics under the ticket of APRC.
And how would you describe your time working as a National Assembly member under the APRC party?
Well, I have to thank Allah and thank the APRC. Whatever I achieved in politics during that period is because I went through the APRC party and I was elected under the ticket of the APRC party. And during my tenure in that parliament, I have served in different committees. Both the Foreign Affairs Committee, the Trade and Employment Committee, the Women's and Children's Rights Committee, the Information, Communication and Technology Committee. I was the chair. And other international parliament like the Pan-African Parliament. It have given me a wider experience in politics and have created me a lot of connections worldwide. Because in that Pan-African Parliament, I was the Vice President of the West African Caucus, that is the West African region, when John Mahama, the former President of Ghana, was the President of the Western Caucus. At the same time, I was the Chairman of the Committee on Trade, Customs and Immigration Matters of that Pan-African Parliament, and have chaired the committee we call the delegates between the European Parliament and the Pan-African Parliament. And that have also given me the chance to be attending European Parliament sessions in Brussels as an observer. And after that, we can have meetings with some of the committees in that European Parliament. And when Gaddafi also promised to create the 6th African region, that is the Africans in the diaspora, that they must have a representative at the level of the African Union, at the AU, head of states level. Somebody must be there to represent the Africans in the diaspora. When the union was formed, I was elected the first vice president in Tripoli. So, in a summary, I mean, being a member of parliament at that time have given me a lot of opportunities, so much experience, and have created me a lot of contacts worldwide.
A decade being an MP for the APRC party, and then in 2013 you got expelled from the Green Party. Why did you get expelled?
Well, also, it's just in every situation, in every society, you have people that thinks that, I mean, having you as an individual is kind of distracting them or kind of barriers for them for whatever they want to achieve. I mean, I have nothing to blame the APRC or the leadership. I mean, maybe he was misinformed about me. But what happened in 2013 was, that was the local government elections. You know, during my primaries in 2012, we went for primaries in Bagadaji, and the one selected got only 2 votes, and I got 12. But still, they went ahead and selected him. So, reason best known to them, I was still not discouraged. I said I'm not going to contest as independent. The people of Jimara were very mad. But still the same, I said, okay, I'm still a supporter of the APRC. I came to the headquarters, the office, told them, look, I'm still a member of the APRC and I'm ready to give all my support to the APRC. Even asked them to give me a vehicle to go and help our brother in Basse, that is Honorable Seluba. Unfortunately, they never listened to me. So then it comes the local government election, the same thing happens again. Two were contesting, that's Honorable Yerobule Mbalo of Sarebojo and a former member of parliament, Honorable Kanimang Sane, who is now the current chief of Jimara. You know, they went to have their primaries in Numuyel. Kanimang got only 1 and Yero got 9. They've all agreed that it was Yero that was selected, signed by the member of parliament, the chief, the chairman. The documents were submitted to the office of the governor in Basse. They rejected that selection. And they went to select somebody who have never applied. So the people of Jimara were very mad. They said now they will put up an independent candidate, which they did. And when it was really tough for them, they thought, look, we have to play a game here and accuse Honorable Kandeh for sponsoring that candidate. On the whole, I have nothing to do with that, but they thought that they were going to lose that seat and it was going to be an issue for them knowing Yaya Jammeh. You know, so this is how they misinformed him about me, that I am supporting an independent candidate against the APRC. If I wanted to support an independent candidate before, I would have contested the elections myself, because I know if I contest the elections, I was going to win that election. There's no doubt about that. Up to now, from 2002, the committee that I established in Jimara, that is the same committee that exists up to now. The member of parliament who came after me was there for 5 good years. He couldn't constitute 1 executive committee in Jimara. So meaning the people of Jimara were 100% behind me. So I would have contested the election if I wanted to kind of support an independent, but I never did. I told them that I'm 100% APRC and I'm going to support the party. But when they knew that they were, or they're afraid that they were going to lose the elections, they said, okay, we have to, you know, level this on somebody so that, you know, they will get their heads off from the whole issue. And that was the time Jammeh announced that he have expelled me from the party and many others in different parts of the country. It was not only me. This is what happened.
So from National Assembly to the presidency now, was this a long-time ambition as a National Assembly member or something triggered it?
Well, as a Gambian, I do have ambition all the time to contribute my quota towards national development. And as I told you earlier on, I have been doing this long before I join or get into the political arena. So I thought being in that office also will give me more opportunity to do more for my country, that if I am only as an individual, you know, it will be different. So I think it is just right as a Gambian and ready to sacrifice and do everything for this country to see a better Gambia, and that is the dream of every genuine Gambian. And I believe I can do something. That's what made me to, you know, get myself into this.
Coalition 2016, you know, the coalition that saw the ousting of former President Yahya Jammeh. You decided to go solo, even though a lot of people agreed that Gambians must have come together, or political parties must come together and form a united front against Jammeh. Why did you decide to go solo on that?
Well, there was no kind of united front, I can say. If you talk about united front, there must be that kind of unity who share the same idea, the same feelings, the same intention to effect a change. The change that the Gambians were dreaming of is not happening. And we know from the beginning that those people that met there, they are not thinking in the same direction. And we have all seen the results. So, I mean, we were a part of the process, the negotiation process. The only argument we had was that we thought if we want the Gambians to select their own candidate, the aspirants should go through the Independent Electoral Commission. We should have our ballot boxes, for example, in Banjul, Serekunda, Brikama, Jarasoma, Bansang, Basse, Farafenye, in all the big towns in the country. Let people come out, even if it is 3 people, let them just come out and vote for somebody. In that way, we will believe that this is now the Gambians speaking, not to bring delegates from different political parties, because if I bring my delegates from GDC, obviously I expect those delegates not to vote for anybody else but me. So the simple reason why they introduced these delegates, because there were political parties who absolutely, I believe, were not able to get the 70 people, and everything was brought in by a particular political party, that is the UDP. And because you cannot, if the reality is, if we're talking about the reality, you cannot choose Barrow over Halifa Sallah, or you cannot choose Barrow over Ahmad Bah. But the whole game was played by the UDP to make sure that the candidate from the UDP is selected. And they did so much to achieve their goal. And we saw this coming. We said, no, we are not going to be part of this. This is one of my reasons for not joining them.
So would you say your standalone move was able to take some votes from Jammeh? Because let's be honest, you took over 17% of the entire votes in the election.
The APRC is a party that I belong to, and a party that I know, and a party that I have very good relation with the people. And I believe many of them love me as I love them too. So when I came out for the first time, this was the time that the APRC, some sympathizers of the APRC started coming out to give me the support. And I can say that that is maybe one of the reasons why they lost the elections. But it was just an issue that I practice as a citizen. It's my fundamental right to vie for any position in this country, and whoever supports me, I'm expecting support from the Gambian people. Expecting support from the Gambian people doesn't mean that I should get support from a particular political party only and not others. I expect every Gambian to support me. But one thing I'm sure of is that they have been with Jammeh here for 22 good years. They cannot get one individual that left the APRC for their political parties. It have never happened. I haven't seen that anywhere in this country. So the GDC have really played a role in bringing the change. The change we wanted, I wanted to be the president myself, not to help bring a change for Adama Barrow. That's why I contest the elections. Yes.
So what would a Kandeh presidency mean for Gambia should you be elected?
Well, the Kandeh presidency will mean a lot for Gambia, because then the Gambians will realize their dream country. Because this is what I believe, and everybody, whether you like Kandeh and GDC or not, you have already seen what we are contributing towards national development and to help the needy Gambians single-handedly. And what about if you think we are in government? I mean, that is the sky is the limit, I can say. But there is one fundamental thing which is very important, and that is the unity of Gambians. We can never achieve our goals without bringing Gambians together. The current political system in this country is very threatening. It's very disheartening. I mean, the issue of tribalism, hatred, insulting each other, I mean, the division of Gambians, this is all not going to help us. So if I become a president, and whoever becomes a president, I think your first task, one of your first priorities would be how can you reunite Gambians? Because we need each other, whether we like it or not, we are sharing the same country. And it is our responsibility, especially political party leaders, to make sure that Gambians are united. Our supporters should understand that we are all talking about the same country. We all want to see the development of this country. And we cannot achieve that without the unity among us. And we need this very much.
Yeah. I know this last question is more to do with your time as a National Assembly member. I just want to know, what would you cite as your biggest achievement as a NAM, especially in terms of legislation and giving back to your constituency?
Well, in my constituency, I have never waited for government to do anything for me. I do go out and lobby anything that I want to do for my constituency. If the government will chip in for anything, it will be highly welcome, and it was always welcome. But I have never sat down, sit by and said, okay, I'm just waiting for my government or my party to contribute this to my people. they have elected me with trust and confidence that I will be able to serve them, and I was always there for them, and I share everything I have with them. So that is a big achievement, and I am so happy and proud that I have achieved some of my dreams to serve my people. And in the National Assembly, of course, there are a lot of issues that we have, or bills or loans that we have ratified for the interest of the Gambian people, which we never regretted doing. Anything that is to the interest of the Gambian.
Yeah, but then again, people said all the National Assembly members or the National Assembly during the time of Jammeh was more like a rubber stamp assembly.
Well, I mean, I think you can say that to any National Assembly. Even this one, if you want to say that, you can say so. Because it is this National Assembly who have thrown away our draft constitution, which every Gambian was expecting to have, which every Gambian was waiting for, and the CRC Commission have went around the whole nation, the whole European countries to meet Gambians. They did so much, all of a sudden, just for our own members of the National Assembly to turn it down and just to throw it like that. I mean, then what do you call that parliament? You see, there are always issues that you can always have excuses for one way or the other reasons. But I don't think if that parliament was a rubber stamp one, because through that parliament, a lot of projects, a lot of issues have been achieved in this country. We were not there to satisfy everybody, as this new parliament is not satisfying everybody. So, but you do your best, at least to say that I have done this and that. I mean, I think that alone is okay.
And finally, Honorable Kandeh, tell Gambians why they should vote for Honorable Mama Kandeh, and tell us the qualities that you think that you possess that the rest of the over 15 candidates do not have.
Well, I don't know what the other 15 candidates have, and I cannot know what they don't have. But all I know is, and all I can talk about, is my own part. And that is, as I said first, I mean, we have 3-4 priority areas which we have to work on very seriously, and there can be no compromise about that. And that is the unity of Gambians is a priority, the health sector, and the agricultural sector, because these 2 areas, or 3 areas, are very, very important. The high rocketing of prices in this country, people are not even able to feed themselves. Goods are very expensive, the corruption, all these things are going to be different, because we want a complete system change, and we cannot achieve this first without the unity of Gambians. And at our level, as a candidate, if I win the elections, I want to see all my colleagues, all party leaders on board. I want to discuss with them, I want to talk with them, I want to seek an advice from them, I want to share everything with them. The Gambia belongs to all of us. I see no reason why we cannot sit down on a table, discuss the issues and problems of this country, and find a solution to our problems as a nation. I think that is one thing that everybody should be welcoming with Mama Kandeh or whoever comes on board. This should be your first priority. And like I said, see how the health sector is dilapidating in this country. Everything is going bad to worse. I mean, not even a single glove or enough gloves that you can have in your hospital. People are dying left, right, and center, especially pregnant women. These are all serious issues. The agricultural sector, from hundreds of years back, we are still using the same system of farming, and we haven't seen any improvement. It is now government's responsibility to make sure that we give the required budget to the agricultural sector, to do everything possible to change our system of agriculture and try to modernize it. We have the land, we have the water, we have everything we need to feed our people. And I believe a GDC government will make a difference.
I took time to read the GDC manifesto, and something caught my eye. I know you're in a haste, but I just want to share this, that under healthcare, actually, you plan to build a hospital, a specialty hospital, where certain operations can be carried out, given the fact that in most cases Gambians travel overseas to have these kinds of operations, like liver transplant, kidney transplant, sorry to say. And then under economic development, you also plan to build a mega city. You know what they say, it's always nice on paper. So how do you intend to pull this off?
Well, I mean, on the issue of the health sector, still, we are not planning to have only one hospital in just one region. We want to have a fully furnished hospital in every region. I think the world have gone beyond still the type of system that we have in place. And we have to change with the world. And it is possible. I mean, mega cities, do you think if we have to just to concentrate on only one mega city, if we want a change in this country, we have to do it. And the possibilities are there. Now, it is left to us, to our commitment, and to make sure we do as much as possible and try to eradicate poverty. I heard about the leader of the UDP talking about the APRM, that is the Africa Peer Review Mechanism. And I think that is a very important part that we should introduce in this country and should be encouraging in this country, so that we are peer reviewed and nobody should be mad at anybody because of the findings or the commitment that we want to bring on board. We are not fighting against anybody. We want to see Gambians together, but we want to make sure that the truth prevails and make sure that there is zero corruption in this country. Or if we cannot make it zero corruption, but we make sure that 90% of it is eradicated.
Thank you very much for sitting down with us, Honorable Kandeh.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's now move on to the GDC manifesto and what they have to offer to the Gambian people in terms of policies. Let's now start with education. According to the party, their mission is to provide the necessary resources and institutions to improve the quality of human capital for all at all levels in order to equip the citizenry with critical knowledge, innovative skills, and enlightenment to meet the needs of our changing economy. Well, here is what they have to offer on the education.
GDC's education policy will focus on providing the following initiatives, including compulsory schooling from year 1 to 9 with standardized WIEC assessments as well as other contextual national requirements, compulsory culture curriculum to strengthen social cohesion and solidarity, commit a specific percentage of GDP to education, provision of free breakfast and lunch from nursery to grade 9, and transport where necessary. Students sponsored at higher education and vocational centers must work for the state for a specified number of years.
And now moving on to health, a sector grappled with so much difficulties since the outbreak of COVID-19. Well, according to the GDC party, they want to increase access to health care and establish social care facilities by building a major hospital in each region with feeder clinics to cater for the health and social care needs of each region. More on their health policies.
The GDC shall provide free medical care for children, the elderly, and pregnant women. Build a major hospital in each region with a network of referral health centers. The major hospitals will be fully equipped with resources, including fully functional radiological services and operating theaters. Provide national electronic and digital medical record services, which shall be accessible by service providers nationwide. This will save time, lives, and resources, especially for our patient referral services. It will also help treat conditions associated with health problems rather than the issue that took a patient to a facility. To build a specialty hospital to care for people with medical conditions that currently require overseas treatment.
And now moving on to the economy. According to the GDC manifesto, their vision is to transform the Gambia into a modern, sustainable economy through pro-poor growth initiatives to improve our quality of life by harnessing public and private sector investments in all areas.
The GDC intends to create agribusiness and agro-based industries with mechanization in order to increase production and productivity, to eliminate hunger, make work pay in the sector, and expand our exports. Manufacturing of some products by creating a supply chain that links the necessary sectors from producer to consumer. This will include food and textile processing plants. Invest in telecommunication technology. Promote the Gambia as a safe and affordable tourist destination.
That was Honorable Mama Kandeh there, the Secretary General and Party Leader of the Gambia Democratic Congress. Thank you very much for watching your candidates this week. Do join us next week with another candidate. Thank you very much for watching and bye for now. The 2021 rate.
The locations, the design, the materials used, all the way down to the latest details, are few of many things that we focused on when we envisioned the airport residency. As proud innovators of community estates, the airport residency in Old Yundum, a project by Swami India International, offers unique gated community with 3 and 4-bedroom villas and duplexes. Just 5 minutes away from the Banjul International Airport. Luxury, convenience, and accessibility are some of the reasons you should consider this great housing opportunity. With a clubhouse, a playground, access roads, and parking facilities available for your dream home or a valuable investment, you will find all you need at Airport Residency here in Old Yundum.